Hey Soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're doing a topic that I've been suddenly inspired by, and I don't know where it's going to take us today, but if I feel like I kind of channeled it, then it's probably meant to be. And the topic is, you've been looking everywhere and the key is with your inner child. This is their message to you. Before we begin, I want to quickly remind you that you have an offer from Aura throughout this month, a 7-day free use of the app and a 25% off of the membership. You'll find a link to this offer in the description box. Hope you enjoy this app and that it provides you with tranquility and mental strength. All right, let's get into your reading. And to do this reading, we are going to be picking 3 piles together. I think we already have 3 piles. 1, 2, and 3. Right, let's see what they are. For pile number 1, you have Gerbera Daisy. For pile number 2, you have the Camellia. And for pile number 3, you have the Honeysuckle. If you like to pick with crystals, let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you have the zebra Jasper in the shape of a heart. And for pile number 2, you have the bloodstone in the shape of a heart. And for pile number 3, you have the Amazonite, also in the shape of a heart. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles you're the most drawn to, and that will probably be the pile for you here today. As I always say, in case you feel drawn to more than one pile, maybe even all of the piles, you might explore several keys that your inner child wants to show to you in today's message. So feel free to check them out if you are drawn to them. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times once you're ready, and I'll see you in your readings. Hi pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You were drawn to the beautiful zebra Jasper as well as the Gerbera Daisy. This is the first time for me to notice this card or to read about this flower, but it was so interesting reading about it before your reading. And it does come in a variety of rainbow colors, like all the colors, vibrant colors as well. Oh, I feel drawn to these 2. I was only planning to take 1, but we follow the guidance. So these are the oracle decks that we will be using for your reading today. And it's such an interesting topic. I cannot wait to get into it. And I'm saying interesting, I'm not tooting my own horn. I really was inspired by it, and so I felt it was channeled. So it's really not me here. And so I can't wait to explore it for you guys. All right, so let's pick this chakra card here and see what is the key. Looks like you're meant to get this one as well, that your inner child wants to show you today. Okay, so first things first, on your card it says purity, cheerfulness, and innocence. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. What a sweet and deep quote to reflect on. Okay. Interesting. So you have a balanced heart chakra card. It says, I love and forgive. And look, it has all these cute little images reminding us of the inner child. What a synchronicity. Okay. And you have also a balanced solar plexus. Beautiful. I do have healthy self-esteem. So looks like your inner child is actually really happy and confident. You have a confident inner child. That's for real. Confident, healthy, happy inner child. Isn't that sweet? All right. That's lovely to hear right off the bat. So let's see what is their key to you. You have transformation, right? Whoa. Now the green of the heart chakra is all over it. You look like you have a happy inner child. You could have had a happy childhood, or you could have been one that was very successful at healing yourself and transforming, where you're really vibrating happiness, peace. You have a joyful inner child. So you have love, a loving heart by nature. So sweet. Okay, let's check now your I Ching hexagons. So here you have water and you have mountain, water and mountain. Okay, limping, how interesting. Okay. Then you have earth and heaven with flow. We'll check out the meanings during the reading of these two hexagrams, which will give us a clearer picture of what your inner child's key is to you. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's much better. We just gotta be careful with the new YouTube rules. They're very strict. Okay, so you have the chasm shrinks as you step across. Okay. Let us now get your tarot cards for this reading. Okay. So what is the key that your inner child wants to show you today, and what is their message? Okay. So you have, whoa, this is an extra card in this deck. What are the odds? It says the unseen. So let's keep it there. Right, it looks like this is centering your reading here. And, oh, you have, the 10 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Wands, 2 sixes. Okay. Wow. The Empress. You have a pretty stable, happy inner child. It's so sweet, so sweet. All right, you have the Death card. And you have the Hermit. We have one extra card here. Perhaps we're meant to put it right there. Wow, how sweet. You have the Page of Pentacles. So, I do see right off the bat, before we begin your reading and before we start exploring what it is your child is exactly speaking about, I do see your inner child wants you to know something along the lines of they're powerful, they're ready, and they want you to make a big transformation, either to yourself or in your world, by taking a major leap of faith, taking a major step. They are so excited about it, and they are telling you something along the lines of, we are ready, we're healthy, we're strong, we're happy, we're ready to take that step. Go for it. So why is this the key then? Let me reflect on your cards. It's very close to the idea of the Fool card. The Fool would remind me of the inner child, of, you know, having that innocence and happiness and happy-go-lucky energy to just jumpstart into something. I get it. So your inner child is passing on that exciting, happy energy, perhaps that you used to have, or maybe you grew out of a little bit. Maybe you are hibernating and not doing much at the moment in your life. Maybe you are in your comfort zone at this point of your life. While you have a happy, excited inner child. Your inner child wants to tell you there's so much to explore out there. There is so much to see that is unseen. And there is so much to achieve and make and experience and live. And in order to do that, your inner child says the only key to experiencing all the marvelous things in life and to receive from the world and to live a happy, blessed life is to have the boldness to go out there, go out of your comfort zone and explore new territories that maybe you feel a bit intimidating with limping here. Like you feel like maybe you're not going to make it, because limping and this stepping over this chasm, I feel like if you don't step properly, you could like slip and hurt your leg, and then you'd be limping. So I'm getting the sense that your inner child is telling you, just like how we were when we were children, don't be afraid to go out and make mistakes. It's okay. It's gonna hurt a little and you're gonna heal. The next time you'll make that move, you'll do it better. Third time you'll do it much better. And just like learning how to ride a bicycle, you know, we fell 1,000 times. And at some point we were like, look, no hands, no hands. So I'm getting this exciting energy here from your inner child of telling you it's okay. Did you forget how to try things out of pure excitement and not fear? And yes, it does hurt, but after a little cry and a little bit of kisses from your mom, you go back and try it again. Maybe even fall a second time. And by time becoming immune to that fall, where your mom's like, be careful, and you're like, I got it, it's okay. So we see that excitement, this joie de vivre, this excitement for life that your inner child wants to remind you of. Your inner child says you are a confident, happy person. Your inner child feels so confident, feels loved, feels, your inner child is someone who is self-assured. And for one reason or the other with the death here, some of you may have gone through a death that of some dear loved one that you're mourning at the moment. That could have been very hard. Maybe you've moved homes or places and you feel alone. Yes. Maybe life experiences put you in that lonely place or made you very careful, which is okay to be careful. But I think with that carefulness, you might have lost that spontaneity, which is at the moment key for you to receiving what you want, achieving your dreams and thriving. And so you want to experience these scary things that from your perspective now seem to be scary by reminding yourself of what is exciting about it, and not to take the downfalls too seriously. Once you get a downfall, take some time to recuperate and then put yourself back into the game. And so your inner child is saying, don't forget this innocence, this childlike fun, that excitement that you used to have, because truly it is your key now to crossing to the other side and enjoying what you want to enjoy in life. Let's get more guidance on how you can, because your inner child's advice here is not to cross to the other side or put yourself out there in whatever you want to do, but your inner child's advice is to do it with excitement, with fun, with love. So, and with the healthy self-esteem, this is like you can do it. Your inner child truly feels like you can do it. And so it's about stepping into that territory without the fear of falling several times. So let's see how your inner child is advising you to do that. There is this advice, of course, strong advice of being patient with the cocoon, just like everything your child, you as a child had to do, walking, riding the bike, learning how to write a new language, all of that. It's like a cocoon. It takes time to build and form until you see yourself with wings and flying. So let's read this first hexagram, limping, number 39, which is water and mountain. And let's see what the first guidance is. So we want 39. Very interesting read here. I see more with the Page of Pentacles and the Empress. We'll get to it in a second. But first, let's read 39 and impasse, difficulties. Yeah, I feel like first of all, your inner child is talking about the idea that maybe you're not doing anything with the impasse. And they want you to flow. They want you to move. Because when you move, life is going to move. So by moving, you transform. And that's how it is with everything. Remember, as a child, you were intimidated by the walking itself, by everything that you do today so effortlessly. And that's life. I believe your inner child is reminding you of these experiences. Maybe we forget them as we get older, but the foundation of everything that we are today were based on these very exercises of writing and reading and walking and learning to talk that we take for granted today. And it's all about doing things with excitement, stepping into it, trying again over and over, and not taking it to heart and not letting it hit our self-esteem, most importantly, while we're doing it. Like not labeling ourselves with anything or being hurt emotionally or physically as we try again and again and again. So the message here of the hexagram is water seeks movement while the mountain seeks to remain still. An impasse, difficulties encountered. The sage changes inside to cultivate virtue. It is time for inner reflection, self-awareness, and personal development. Peril above, peril below. When wise counsel has been sought out, it will be auspicious to proceed with your endeavor. Adversity and troubles. Take caution, but the ending will be well. When you hit the worst point, you cannot go at it alone. Seek out support and counsel when you are uncertain. Yeah, there is an amazing point that your inner child is pointing out here. Just like when they were learning, that's so important. Just like when you were learning, perhaps the Empress Mother guidance. Okay. So you want to step into a new territory, but you want to step into it with at least initial instructions on what to do. So there's that second element of seeking guidance. Like before you step into the territory, read a little bit about it, get more information so that you do things right. This reminds me of Michael Jackson's father, he was once saying something that really blew my mind. I think I read it in his memoirs, Michael Jackson's memoirs, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was saying that his father once said, if you learn to brush your teeth, if you practice, so practicing is not really the key. The key is to practice correctly. Because if you practice brushing your teeth wrong every single day, you're only going to be an expert at brushing your teeth wrong every single day. So your inner child is pointing something brilliant here. What a smart inner child. And so the guidance is to learn how to brush teeth correctly and practice that every single day. Really, such a brilliant inner child. Here we see your inner child guiding you to like look up to the people who give that information. Learn in your own comfort first what is the correct way of going about it, and then put yourself out there and do it without fear. And take the feedback as you try this important guidance. Yes, do take the guidance just like an inner child, listens to the people who's got more experience. So allow someone to guide you or read about it. Put yourself out there and try several times until you brush your teeth in the correct way. Learning how to brush your teeth in the correct way. So now we have a new element to your message of what your inner child wanted to show you, and that's what we see with the Empress here. Okay, let's see the 11th hexagram, which is Earth and Heaven, and see what message we get there as well. So number 11, harmony, balance. Before we even read it, I remember it's all about creating balance. When we're walking, learning how to balance. When we're riding a bicycle, how to create balance, and so on. So you are reaching and going beyond yourself. This is progressive. This is good. Okay. You are willing to take risks for others, even if it might mean losing your own position. You negotiate a compromise and observe temperance. You won't regret your decision. Act according to temperance and prosperity shall be attained. And I think this is the key sentence here. Act according to temperance and prosperity shall be attained. The intercourse of heaven and earth. Oh, I just read something. I'm gonna surprise you because I just saw something 2 days ago with regards to the same message of the intercourse of heaven and earth. I get it. Sacred unions, auspicious, at the end yield to the natural course of cycles and changes. Okay, so I was reading about this intercourse between heaven and earth, where in how a seed comes out of the mud, sprouting. So when this happened, this is like the earth and the heavens combining for that seed to come out. For that magic to happen from the seed, creating life, and for it to first sprout out of the mud. And so I think your inner child is reminding you of your inner magic that you forgot. An inner child feels auspicious, feels that magic that we all, as we grow up, all of us tend to believe unless we connect back to it again. And so an inner child believes in fairies, believes in magic, but believes in all of the things that we are all relearning again, because we laughed at it at some point. And it turns out we were always right in believing these things. Naturally, intuitively, their intuition is heightened. They believe in magic, and it turns out to be true. So your inner child is reminding you of that magic. Yes, you do have to go out and achieve and create things in life, but don't forget that there is magic. Don't forget that as you tap into that energy of magic and feel like you're going to be able to achieve anything, and that's the innocence energy that most of the time makes a child or even a teenager be able to go after what they want and actually attain it. Yes, you do want to be careful with that energy and gain guidance, or with these feelings and gain guidance to do things properly. But don't forget that it is that magic that helps you attain the things that you want. That feeling of auspiciousness, that feeling of magic within you, that makes you feel like you can go out and conquer the world and make it happen. And so your inner child is saying that the key is to get in touch with that magic that you once always were into. You know, like, I can do this, I can make this happen, I can have all of these things, it's gonna happen for me. So by tapping into this magical energy, getting into the flow precisely, and not being afraid to limp and fall and not doing right the first time, as long as you have the guidance on what is the correct way to do it, as you practice, you're gonna get the hang out of it. And I believe here the Seed of Pentacles leads to the Ten of Pentacles. What I'm trying to say is, you do see a tiny deer that is on its way to create a life that it loves. It has the guidance of its mother. It's looking out at her mother, listening to that guidance, but feeling auspicious. Although ahead it cannot see what's yet to come, but it's not afraid of taking that leap of faith. And it is exactly that energy that's gonna give it the life that it wants, that magic that it's emanating, to receiving what it wants and to flying off. And don't forget, children emanate magic, and they get everything nearly that they want. You know, they have people loving them, wanting to spoil them, or wanting to make them happy. It doesn't always go right every time, yes, of course, but that magic leads them every single time to their path. It makes them always achieve the things that it wants. So tap into that magic, my dear pile number one. This is the key that your inner child wants to tell you. Perhaps you've been trying in so many ways, and your inner child is saying, look within. Get back in touch to that excitement, to that fun, to being okay, falling and getting up and trying again. And you know, if you don't like that game, try another game. You know, find out what you want. Let it lead you. And don't be afraid to go back to your innocence and your cheerfulness. That sort of pure energy and excitement, that flow of believing like you got this, is what's going to take you to what you want to achieve. And my dear pile number one, this is exactly what I see your inner child wanting to give you as your key to whatever it is you are looking for. And I truly hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And please don't forget to check out my productivity e-cookbook. It has 210 recipes that are healthy, delicious, and are cooked in a matter of minutes, giving you the rest of the day to do what is important for you. I was very passionate about this ebook, and for this reason, I've partnered with a nutritionist that I really love and believe in to bring out this project for you guys. And if you're vegan, there is a vegan version. If not, like I always say, you can make use of both ebooks. There are no duplicate recipes. And this way you'll have a plethora of healthy and delicious meals to choose from, perhaps even for the rest of your life. And if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to it down in the description box. And my dear pile number one, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. You were drawn to the beautiful bloodstone in the shape of a heart, as well as the card Camellia. And today we're taking a look at your inner child's message to you with regards to something that you have been looking everywhere for. And the idea of the reading today is that your inner child has the key for that. It is a topic that I've channeled. It just hit me, and so I believe it was truly meant to be. And so let's explore what this is to you, why we were meant to do this reading today, and what is the key that your inner child wants to give you. Okay, so these are your oracle cards. On your main card, it says, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." This is William Shakespeare. Okay, so you have the throat chakra, balanced throat chakra, and it says, "I talk and notice body language." Oh, my apologies. There we go. I talk and notice body language. Okay. And you have growth. And you have new beginnings. Wow, okay. So nice. So you have simplicity, and I heard in my mind, go back to basics. Don't know why, but okay. We'll find out as we explore. So you have simplicity, and we have a sweet witch here. And look, the colors of the whites and the oranges are mimicking your citrine here. So there is great synchronicity already. This came up in pile number 1. I would say if you were drawn to pile number 1, especially if this is 1, 1, 11, and or if you've been seeing 1, 1, 1 as well, you might want to check pile number 1. Yeah, definitely. Like, what are the odds? And, wow. You have roots grow from your feet. Looks like this is going to be a profound reading. Okay, so this is card number 33. Let's now, and look at that. You have 1, 2, and 3. Something is happening in sequence. Let's now explore your tarot cards and see what the complete message is. And keep 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have the 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands. It's like you want to move quick, but you can't, you know? This kind of reminds me, especially with the throat chakra, like wanting to say something, but and you want to say it quickly. Maybe you want to get a quick idea or something. Oh, but it's not coming out. Maybe you're not in the flow. Let's see what this is. Not sure yet. Too early. You have the 10 of Wands. Your inner child is talking about some heavy energy, some great difficulty that you're trying to get yourself out of. We get the hexagram, of course, of the earth and heaven. You have the 6 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups. Do you feel like, do some of you feel like time has passed you by, like it's too late for something? That's another message here. I hope you don't, because your inner child is like, there is nothing that's too late here. Nothing has passed you by, for sure. And you don't need to walk away from this wish if you still have it in your heart, because there's a certain wish that you've always had, and it's never too late, ever, ever, to receive it. Remember, it says, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." Interesting. And you have the 4 of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Perhaps you want to achieve this wish very quickly. Maybe this wish requires time, or at least momentum, with the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles to pick up. And I think the first misconception perhaps is trying to push out of it quickly, and it's not happening. So this is the experience. that you may be going through at the moment. Now let's take a look at what your inner child wants to show you. Your inner child here wants to show you to go back to doing things the way that you used to. Sometimes overcomplicating things, and sometimes too much sophistication, too much information, too many energies around. What will people think? How will I do that? Where do I need to begin? This is so difficult. That type of frustration hinders us from achieving the first milestone with the background of the Four of Wands, to even begin. And your inner child has this idea of going back to the very basics and super simplifying everything. With the brush here, I mean the broom, clear away everything that is hindering you at the moment. Think of it from a child's perspective. What would a child do if it wants to get up and play with its car? Is it going to think, oh, I gotta be an expert in knowing how to play with this car like my older brother knows how to do it? I have to have all the sophistication in knowing how to use this remote control. I don't think I'm going to be able to play with this car at all, so just let it go. Oh no, let me not use this car because it's brand new and I might hit it. And then I won't have a nice car anymore. Or maybe I shouldn't be playing with this car because my brother knows how to play so well, and if I play and I fail, then I'm not going to be a good driver, and so on and so forth. What would a child do? The child would get up, get back to basics, feel the excitement, and just pick up and try. And so your inner child is telling you, go back to the way you used to do things. Forget about all this sophistication, all this heavy energy, all of the things that is now scaring you, and focus on the simple things. If you want to do something, what are you going to do? If you want to write that book, just start the first line. If you want to create I don't know why I'm getting writing examples. I was going to say write a play. Create a play. If you want to do anything, just get back to the basics and start exploring how you can just begin with a new beginning here. Also, an amazing thing that children would do, which your inner child here just reminded me of doing as well. This is so cool. It's blowing my mind now, and I think that's great advice, and perhaps it's definitely gonna be good advice for you, because this is coming from your inner child. So, how with body language and talk, how when children want to imitate us, they get into our body language and they speak like us. They speak like, for example, when my niece wants to be a doctor, which is one of her favorite things to do. So she starts sitting like a doctor, and she would tell me, knock on the door and come in and tell me that something is hurting you. And I'd go outside, knock on the door, and she'd go, come in. And I would come in, she'd check up, and then she'd pretend to be writing the prescription, and she would say the usual things that doctors would say. Be careful with that, let me put some plaster. And you'd see her whole body language change. So natural, absolute natural things that inner children do. And I think it's really cool, because the reason I thought this was brilliant advice from your inner child is because a lot of the times when we actually do step into that energy and feel it and act it, we start becoming it. Isn't that interesting? So your inner child here is telling you, first of all, simplify things. Ground yourself by simplifying things. You'll really feel grounded. Push away any of the sophisticated things for the time being and take it step by step. And as you step into that new experience or the thing that you want to create or become, step into the body language and speak like that expert that you want to become, or that great writer that you want to become, or that personality that you want to become, depending on what you are trying to do here and what your inner child is showing you here. So it's super important that you get into the energy of the body language and the voice of that character that achieves what you want to achieve. So interesting. Right. So I've already read the hexagon, the flow in the first pile, but I will read it out for you guys, and let's see together how this fits into your reading. This is the flow, hexagram number 11. It's the earth and heaven. I remember it was the intercourse between the heaven and the earth. So cool. I'll read it out to you. So harmony and balance. You are reaching and going beyond yourself. This is progressive. This is good. You are willing to take risks for others, even if it might mean losing your own position. You negotiate a compromise and observe temperance. You won't regret your decision. Act according to temperance, and prosperity shall be attained. The intercourse of heaven and earth. Sacred unions. Auspicious. At the end, yield to the natural course of cycles and changes. And so a hexagram, it has many meanings. And what we can see here is get into the energy of auspiciousness, into the energy of flow, of feeling that energy and getting into it. And once you get into that energy, you're going to start feeling like a natural, like someone who can do it. And this is where you can start building your roots and growing from there. It's coming from a genuine place, because when you feel something so much, you start acting it and becoming it. You know that advice of pretend until you make it? No. Fake it until you make it. Fake it until you make it. So there's something so true about it. So whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, go back to acting it, just like we did when we were children. Act it, feel it, become it, live it, and get into the flow of it, especially the flow of feeling auspicious. And you will see that you will move from the energy of feeling like it's so heavy to the energy of going bit by bit to actually fully receiving it. And like I told you, my dear pile number 2, if you ever get the thoughts, oh, it's too late, the ship has passed me by, or maybe I should have gotten this a long time ago, the background of the Six of Cups. Maybe it's too late for me. These are all wrong ideas. There's no such thing as too late, ever. And I see with growth a new beginning. Your inner child is telling you, come on, there's always a new chance. There's always a new chance, a new beginning for growth and getting what you want. So get to it and make that new beginning for you happen, because you will see very soon, as you step into that energy and feel it and act it and become it, you will hit, with the background of the Four of Wands, a new milestone very soon. But take it easy on yourself, don't be frustrated and expect the change to happen right now, right away, or then it's not going to happen. Because children, they keep trying again and again and again, because they don't lose hope once it doesn't work. They don't feel like, oh, it didn't work quickly, I'm leaving. They have this renewed hope. New beginning growth, new beginning growth. They have this renewed hope. They fall, they get up. They fall, they get up. So your inner child's like, be patient. I'm so excited for us to do this, to become this. I've got the energy for it. I've got the feeling for it. I got the body language for it. So tap into that energy and forget all these grown-up thoughts that we build, wrong beliefs, let's call them, that we built up as we were growing up, of it's too late, time has passed me by, maybe I'm not going to get it. Forget all of these thoughts and tap back into your inner child, because this is the energy. Do you see the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles? Going back to the inner child and going back to that energy of flow and pretending and feeling it is that abundant energy that gives you back with the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is energy of reciprocity, generosity, and also reciprocity, of, the right energy that gives you the right things that you want. And that's the flow. What's the right energy? It's tapping into these emotions, that excitement, that feeling, that expert-like, as if you've already got it. Tap into it. And as you act like, and why do we laugh at children? Because they act like experts and then they bump and fall and we all laugh. They laugh with us and they get up and act like experts again and they try again. So take it lightheartedly. You know, don't take it too hard on yourself when it doesn't work. Go, laugh at yourself. Be the first to laugh at yourself and go, oh yeah, well, I'm going to get back up and be that expert again and again and again. And once you fall, you know, get back up and be excited about getting into that energy once again, of that expert energy. You know, push it behind you. And don't let it get to you ever. Remind yourself that everybody makes mistakes. That for even the best of us doesn't get it right every single time. It's okay. That's okay. Don't take it to heart. Nobody's perfect. And so get back into the energy of being an expert and behaving like an expert, but most important, enjoying that expertness. And very soon you will become and grow into the dream that you want to achieve, your new beginning. Just do it calmly with the Four of Swords. The milestones are going to come as you take it calmly. Calmly that means with restfulness. Don't let it get you. Enjoy the ride. And my dear pile number 2, this is exactly what I see your inner child wanting to give you as a key to what you're looking for in today's reading. I truly hope you've enjoyed it, my dear pile number 2. This was such a wise and wonderful message. Even I've learned a lot. This was brilliant. I wish you all the best of luck, my dear pile number 2. May you reach your dreams very soon. And if you've enjoyed this reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And do note that I post readings nearly every single day. This way, when you've subscribed, you're notified and you get right away as soon as I post. And please don't forget to check out as well my productivity e-cookbook. It has 210 recipes that are healthy, delicious, and are cooked in a matter of minutes, giving you the rest of the day to do what is important for you. I wanted to bring out this project for you guys, and for this reason, I've partnered with a nutritionist that I really love and believe in to be able to do this project for you. Very excited to be presenting it to you guys. I know it will make a difference in your life. And if you're vegan, don't worry, there's a vegan version. And if not, you can make use of both ebooks. There are no duplicate recipes, and this way you'll have a plethora of healthy and delicious meals to choose from for the rest of your life that you can cook in a matter of minutes and get on with your day to do what is important for you. Have a delicious, healthy meal that is cooked very quickly and do what is important for you. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to it down in the description box. And my dear pile number 2, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you the best of luck with this dream, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You were drawn to the beautiful Amazonite in the shape of a heart, as well as the honeysuckle. So let's see today what key your inner child wants to present to you with something that you've been looking everywhere for. Okay, so we've got 2 I Chings for this reading. We'll be reading them out today. And let's pick up the rest of your cards. Until then, you have on your card, I will wind thee. Yes. I will wind thee in my arms. So doth woodbine. So doth the woodbine, the honeysuckle gently entwist. This is William Shakespeare. Whoa, thanks. Very nice. Okay. Let's pick up. There we go. These are actually 2. Okay. Right. Let's now check your cards. So you have a balanced third eye chakra with I see and have clarity, sorry. And then you have here an underactive root chakra with I am disorganized, right? Now let's check the rest of your cards. How about we take this one first? You have calling. Aha, how interesting. All right. Is something calling for you to do? Do you have a calling? Do you feel a need to do something? Let's see. And you have simplicity. This did pop up in pile number 2. And so if you're drawn to pile number 2, then I would highly recommend it. Right, so let's check your I Chings. Right, so you have mountain and heaven. Great taming, the great taming. You have retreat. You have mountain and mountain. Interesting, 52 with stilling. We'll be reading these two when the time comes. And finally, you have licking dew from green leaves. Interesting. That does feel very childlike, doesn't it? And you kind of feel like there are leaves and there's dew, or these, I know these are stars, but you can see some water here. Right. So let's now pull out your tarot cards. Okay. So what is the key that your inner child wants to give you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Looks like you've got 2 extra cards here as well. Let's keep them to the side for now. Okay, so you have the 7 of Cups, the 6 of Cups. Okay. Whoa. You know, downgrade from 7 to 6, it's like what simplicity here wants to say. Simplifying things, like taking one more thing off of your back to be able to go lighter on your journey. You have justice. Let's see what this whole situation is first. The Tower. It's like too many things will collapse. You want to make it easier in order to find balance with the justice. And also 6 of Cups, go back to basics. Minoan text here says absent. It's definitely taking out more things out that you're carrying, like less responsibilities, less things off of your shoulder. You have the Ace of Cups. And you have the World card. All right. Would these fit? I think they would. So you also have the Priest of Daggers. This is the King of Wands with Eileen. Sometimes you guys think the daggers are the swords. In this deck, the daggers are the wands. So that's the King of Wands. And you have the Knight of Wands. How interesting. Downgrading. Look, for some of you, perhaps you want to follow a certain calling, right? But some of you feel like you are already in such a big position and you don't want to maybe lose that position that you've built over the years. I'll tell you the different scenarios that I see. So the first one is that big position, and I see your inner child telling you that along the lines of it's okay to downgrade in order to reach your dreams, which will ultimately put you to the top. So we have a reading here about a calling, about something that is calling you that you want to do. And it's difficult for you to do it at the moment because you seem to be burdened by so many responsibilities. I know that's not the meaning of the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is like feeling that something is wishful thinking. But I'm intuitively also getting the idea, since we got the downgrade here twice, that you're also carrying so many things. And we've got exaggerate here with the Minoan text, leading me to understand that you can't see the forest for the trees because you've got so much on your back that is not enabling you to see further. Wait, let me hide this card. I'm not sure about the rules on YouTube. I'm noticing a synchronicity here with honeysuckle, and doesn't this look like a honeycomb? So I feel like honey is really emphasized, first of all, in your reading. And so with calling, I see that a sweet dream is calling you, or something that you really wish to do in your heart, something that's calling you in a strong way. And for one reason or the other, you're not going after it. Perhaps because of all of the responsibilities that you have, you feel like if you in fact do go after it, things will break down, things will fall. And so it becomes something that you keep on the back burner, something that you don't answer, a call that you're not answering. With retreat here, you could be disconnecting from that calling, although it keeps nagging you because it is actually calling you to follow it. Another reason that I'm seeing your inner child is pointing out to you, for one of the reasons that you may not be following or pursuing that calling, is because from the king going to the knight, perhaps you feel like there is a certain prestige that you have to keep up with, because here the Minoan text is a title for an aristocrat leader in the state of, in one of the ancient Crete states. So perhaps you're afraid of your prestige or something along these lines. And it could be the very thing that's keeping you stuck in place, literally, as the image is showing us here. And so we keep seeing downgrade. More like, it's not a calling to lose yourself, but it's a calling to follow what's more important. I don't want to say, is your prestige not... Of course your prestige is important, but is it so important to the extent that it would be the one thing that would block everything from what you want to achieve and see? And would you consider, as your inner child is showing you here, that if you do in fact follow what your heart desires, wouldn't you be on top of the world and find the crowd that equally holds you in high regards? Because with the Six of Cups here, I see a dream that is absent. That's what we see with the Minoan text here, absent. Something that is decaying year by year because it's not being pursued, and it's eating away your heart with it. And so your inner child is truly inviting you to make that beginning. If you so decide to choose to pursue that, your next question would be, well, I have so many responsibilities. Things would fall apart if I do achieve that. Maybe some of you are mothers, as is depicted here. So in all cases, I see your inner child guiding you to release some of the responsibilities off your back. And I literally read your back here as I was saying responsibilities, or release responsibilities. And to think of creative alternative ways in which you can pursue what your heart desires. I say that specifically because, do you see here, licking dew from green leaves? Imagine a father and a son were walking in the forest. They got lost. They're so thirsty. They like would do anything to drink water at this point. And the father cannot find any source of water, no lakes, nothing. And the child says, but look, Daddy, there is water on the leaves. And the father would say, yeah, what are we going to do with the water on the leaves, sweetheart? And the child, thinking outside the box, would say, how about we collect this water in a cup and drink it? And the father would say, oh, that would take ages. But it is a good idea. Once that thirst, gets hold of the father, then the father actually starts following that idea and collects the dew from the leaves. And finally, there's something significant. Maybe it's going to take some work to do, but there is something to drink, fresh water to drink in a tough situation. So I see your inner child telling you to simplify things, as we saw here with this example of the dew, to simplify the ways in which you can do something that you have a yearning for. This yearning looks to me like something you have been hoping for so long. Look, you have mountain on mountain, mountain on heaven. It gives me this idea that it's something that's become super heavy on you. And it's going to continue to feel heavy as long as you're not pursuing it. And this calling, this feeling is there for a reason. It will keep nagging until you listen to it, because it's taking you somewhere that you are meant to pursue, somewhere towards your very happiness. And with the disorganized root chakra, I see your inner child saying, go back to this childlike of not having everything so perfectly lined in place. Not everything has to be super organized for you to do it. And, let circumstances sometimes, unfold themselves. You don't always have to be 100% ready. Sometimes you want to take first the feedback, especially in a territory that you don't want to know much about. It's being spontaneous, exactly. Sometimes you just want to be a little bit spontaneous. Let me check this quote by William Shakespeare. With retreat here, I feel the message is the easiest thing you can do in life is to quit. And that's so opposite to what children do. They can spend all day, all evening, trying to make that cylinder fit into that square hole until they finally figure out that it fits into the circle hole and it goes in. And so we think that we're much wiser than children, but really watching the tenacity of what children want to achieve and how they achieve it is something for us to absolutely learn. And this is one of the keys that your inner child wants to deliver to you, that to go back to that this feeling of tenacity and not feeling beaten down or feeling like, I don't want to say ever excuses, but as we grow, we tend to get into the victim mentality because life isn't so easy. We have responsibilities, we have perhaps an image to keep, whatever the situation is. I see your inner child taking you and showing you that the key is with being tenacious. Yes, spontaneous, but absolutely tenacious. And these are the two elements that are going to be the key for you to move forward towards that very thing that your heart has always wanted. And I know that the key here is tenacity because the honeysuckle is very resilient. Its vines are tenacious. They cling to the walls very well. If you grow them in your garden, you know that they will remain this constant fixture in the garden because they hold on so well and they grow well. So that's why they are so related to tenacity. So you can see your inner child telling you really the key here is being spontaneous, knowing very well what it is that you want to do, seeing that vision, going after it, because quitting is the easiest things that all of the adults do that children never do. You know, they try to walk, they fall, they get back up. They want to put the cylinder in the square, they don't give up. They just don't. They continue to try and try and try until it works. So I really do see that your inner child here is telling you to not give up and be tenacious and keep trying different creative ways. Maybe you don't want to go down the usual traditional way. Maybe you want to experience and experiment how you can do it in a creative way, given the circumstances that you are currently in. And don't give up, because a child never gives up. That's why it has become you today. And for you to become this amazing tomorrow, you are guided to go back and connect to this inner child so that you can pursue this calling. Perhaps everything that you've done was leading up to what it is that you want to do. And I truly feel this is the case, which your inner child absolutely knows. Because, you know, when we are children, they say we're still so connected to the spiritual world. You have some children, sometimes people say they remember past lives, they still, you know, see things. And here, the Minoan text and the Justice card says freshly pressed grape juice, not yet fermented. So it's like you've gone a long way, but it's not the end yet. That's not the end of your journey. Everything that you were doing was leading up to that journey that is calling for you to go towards, and your heart is yearning for it for a reason. So follow it. You have wine jar here, because you will the journey will finally ferment into something so tasty and valuable and rich that you are meant to be in. And if you believe you are in a great position now, here the Minoan text says gods. So you're reaching so far high to the place of like godlike place, meaning so prestigious that everyone can recognize that it's such an amazing place. So it's not the end yet of your journey. There's so much more. It requires being tenacious, spontaneous, and finding creative ways of doing what it is that you want, but never giving up on them. How about we read Mountain on Mountain with 52? Let me get the book. Okay, so 52. It says, listen to the wind, quiet heart in action. Quiet your heart and be calm. Remember that even stillness can be a form of movement. The sage contemplates the situation in stillness. It is natural for the heart to fluctuate and a mind to flutter, but exercise restraint and keep confined to a fixed position. That is how you will hear the answer to your inquiry. The wind will carry an important omen to you. Listen to the wind. Silence is the way to self-mastery. Think before the way to prevailing in your endeavors. Present in action paves the way for future gains. I was gonna go check William Shakespeare's quote, but I felt I wanted to tell you this. I've noticed it right away, starting with the retreat. So what I want to say here, I'm hearing, I'm getting that in solitude, when you calm down, the loudest voice you're going to hear is that calling, is that yearning to do something. Also, it is within this solitude, giving yourself that time to sit still and create space and time for that calling and be still. Will you find creative ideas in how you can pursue this great dream that you have in your heart? And it's calling you for a reason. Before we continue, let me now check William Shakespeare's quote, and I'll be back. And that's the second time I drift, but I just got hit with an idea. I think what happened to me here, being distracted, doing something because I've noticed it, and then going back to another book, and then going back to Shakespeare, and then coming back to you. I feel like this is the spontaneity that your inner child is talking about. Don't be afraid to, go back and forth and try here and try there, and maybe even do things right or wrong. Just be spontaneous, and you'll see that the world, by allowing energy to flow through you, you will see that it's taking you in the direction that you're supposed to be taken to. Sometimes we pretend that we're doing something, but we're a vessel for the universe to move through us. So don't be too reliant on the idea that things will happen simply just because of you. You are a cause for the things that need to happen, and you do need to take that action first and focus. But you are, at the end of the day, a vessel through which energy flows, and you're always assisted. It looks like we do things, but really it's the energy, the universe working through us, helping us do whatever it is that we're doing. So be spontaneous, because through the energy of spontaneity, you will be able to put the pieces together and find the creative process in which you can achieve this calling. Right, so now Shakespeare, I promise. Right, so I didn't find the whole quote, but I did see "I will win thee in my arms" is A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. So the story goes that 4 Athenians run away to the forest, only to have Puck the fairy make both of the boys fall in love with the same girl. The 4 run through the forest, and it's interesting, you have a forest here, pursuing each other, while Puck helps his master play a trick on the fairy queen. In the end, Puck reverses the magic, and the 2 couples reconcile and marry. And you can kind of see a fairy here in the forest as well. How interesting. I know it's a witch, but yeah. So to me, this means allow for yourself to be lost a little bit as you're spontaneous. You may not know how the road ahead looks like at all. So allow yourself to roam and be lost for a little bit, not knowing exactly how to do it. But in the end, this is all going to be reversed, and you will find the way. And just like the fairies being part of the story, magic is going to happen, and you are going to receive it. Just like the way children do it. They get lost for a while trying to put that cylinder into the square for a long time, all day, until they figure it out and they feel like they've done exactly what they wanted to do. And because of that concentration and energy, they make things work eventually. And so allow yourself to get lost, to think about it, to see what your message is, to see what your next step is. And as you figure it out, you are going to reach so far. Okay, so the last thing we want to check is number 26. It came out for a reason. And let's see what your final message from your inner child as your key to this whole situation is. And I will give you a final summary of what your inner child is saying. So 26 is holding back, imposed limitations, exactly, control, forbearance. You hold great power and potential, but restraints are necessary to temper that power and keep it under control. Officers of the nation should not accept offers of benefit from their nation. Decline enrichment from those you are serving. If you forbear from accepting rewards or compensation for your service to the public, if you forbear from accepting rewards or compensation from your service to the public, then your forbearance will bring you even greater prosperity than those offered rewards. An auspicious omen for great undertakings, advantageous for you to proceed on your endeavor. To me, this message means don't take something less for a cause that's much bigger. Meaning, don't settle for what you have now, thinking that it's great, when what you're about to embark on is much, much greater and more fulfilling, and perhaps even full of much greater blessings. It will taste so sweet. So, and also the second message is, you've got so much power within you that you will not find out about unless you tap into it. Again, just like your inner child. So in order to tap into that power, you have to let yourself loose sometimes, get lost until you figure it out. But once you do figure it out, you have such a grasp on it and how to do it that you'll be really on top of the world. And it is that dream you've always wanted. So let loose, pursue it, and pray, and you are going to get there, my dear pile number 3. Let it go, and you are going to get there. My dear pile number 3, this was your key from your inner child. I truly hope you've enjoyed this reading. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. I post nearly every single day. And also, please don't forget to check out my productivity e-cookbook. It has 210 recipes that are healthy, delicious, and are cooked in a matter of minutes, giving you the rest of the day to do what is important for you. I did partner with a nutritionist that I personally really love and believe in to bring out this project to you. And if you're vegan, there is a vegan version. If not, you can make use of both ebooks. There are no duplicate recipes, and this way you'll have a plethora of healthy and delicious meals to choose from, perhaps even for the rest of your life. This way you'll have, like I said, healthy and delicious meals, but are cooked very quickly. And if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to it down in the description box. And my dear pile number 3, all the best of luck. A little bit of being tenacious, not deciding to quit like most of us do when we grow up. Continue at it. As you be spontaneous, you'll find your power, you'll find your way. And take a little bit of the tasks or the responsibilities off your shoulders in order to allow for the time to think how you're going to be doing it, because as you do that, you're going to find creative ways to pursue your dreams, and you haven't reached your destination. There's still more to come, and it will taste so good, and you'll feel and see that you are on top of the world. But sometimes in order to reach the very top, you have to go down a little bit in order to go back up. This was your reading, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.